Anyone who can't do it, get out. Wow. Just imagine for a second. You're in a team meeting and your boss drops that line. It's direct, it's brutal, right? And it immediately tells you we're in some kind of intense, high-stakes situation here.
All right, so let's dive right in. What we're doing today is breaking down a real-world ultimatum, one that was actually delivered to a sales team and caught on tape. We're going to dissect the whole anatomy of this high-pressure tactic piece by piece.
So, what's the deal with that harsh opening line? Well, we're basically listening in on a manager who is just completely fed up. The team's not hitting its numbers, the performance is in the tank, and it sounds like they've decided enough is enough. It's time for something drastic.
Okay, let's break down this setup here. You've got one seriously annoyed manager, and they're talking to a team of 34 people. The big problem? The sales targets just aren't being met. As a group, they're failing. But here's the kicker, the detail that really raises the stakes. The manager points out that a few people are actually crushing it. So this isn't about everyone failing. It's about the team failing, which makes this ultimatum for the entire group feel, well, even more intense.
And this brings us right to the heart of the ultimatum. See, this wasn't some vague, hey guys, let's do better kind of talk. No, this was a very specific, numbers-driven challenge. Let's get into exactly what the team was told to do.
So, let's look at the raw numbers. First up, the team size. 34 people.
And how much time did they have? Just 1 week. That's it. 7 days to completely turn things around.
And the mountain they had to climb? A grand total of 204 deals. I mean, think about that. That's a huge number for 34 people to hit in just 7 days. The clock is definitely ticking.
So let's do the math on that, right? How does that break down for each person? To hit that massive 204 target, every single one of those 34 team members has to close 6 deals. 6. All of a sudden, you can't hide in the group anymore. The team goal is now your own personal high-stakes quota.
And this timeline, it really paints a picture of a pressure cooker situation. The ultimatum drops on the 22nd. The deadline to deliver is the 28th. And then, bam, just 3 days later on the 31st, it's payday. That's when you find out the consequences, good or bad. It's fast, it's immediate, and there's just no escaping it.
Now, of course, an ultimatum this big needs serious consequence. You can't just make a demand like that with no teeth. So what happens if they fail? This is what we call the stick part of the manager's whole carrot and stick strategy.
And the manager's words here are, honestly, pretty chilling. He says, for those who remain, which kind of implies some people might just walk out right then and there, on the 1st of the month, I will take labor action. In the original Vietnamese, that phrase is Kim Do Lao Dom.
So what does that actually mean, labor action? Well, it's a formal term for disciplinary measures. And we're not talking about a simple slap on the wrist here. This could mean anything from official warnings in your file all the way up to termination. The threat is serious, and it's left just vague enough to be absolutely terrifying. Basically, your job is on the line.
But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. A classic ultimatum has to have a carrot, right? There has to be a reward for success, something that makes all that insane pressure feel worth it. So let's take a look at the prize.
If the team actually pulls this off, they're promised a salary of 10 million Vietnamese dong. And that's a pretty significant financial incentive, right? It's designed to make them dig deep and push way past what they thought their limits were.
And how the reward is structured is actually really important here. It's a 7 million base salary plus a 3 million bonus, and that whole package is tied directly to hitting that 204 deal target. And like we saw on the timeline, they get it almost right away on payday. That makes the prize feel super real and, just within reach.
And this just lays it all out, doesn't it? It's a stark choice. There's absolutely no middle ground. You either fail and face labor action, which could mean losing your job, or you succeed and get a really nice payday. It's a simple, binary choice, and it's designed to force everyone to make a decision and act right now.
But just when you think the pressure couldn't possibly get any higher, oh, it does. The manager adds one final, crushing layer to this ultimatum. And this isn't just about one tough week. No, this is about the entire future of the team.
And there it is. The manager drops a bomb. He says he has an army of replacements just waiting in the wings. A whole team of skilled salespeople ready to jump in at a moment's notice. The message couldn't be clearer. You are replaceable. If you can't do this job, don't worry, because I've got plenty of other people who can.
And here's an interesting little psychological twist. the manager actually tries to justify his harsh tone. He claims he's just translating the tone of the meeting, kind of hinting that this pressure is coming from even higher up the food chain. It's a clever way to deliver the threat while also kind of washing his hands of being the bad guy.
So let's just quickly recap the playbook here. First, you set an ambitious, almost impossible goal with a crazy short deadline. Then, you clearly define the punishment for failure and the reward for success. Make it a simple choice. And for the final knockout punch, you threaten to replace every single one of them. I mean, it's a textbook example of high-pressure, high-stakes motivation.
And all of this brings us to the big question, the really critical one. Does this kind of extreme pressure actually work? Is it a brilliant way to motivate a team to do incredible things? Or is it just a destructive tactic that creates fear, leads to burnout, and eventually causes the whole thing to collapse? You just heard one manager's answer. The real question is, what's yours?